Nope. No fireworks yet here at the Gov, but we're hoping to see some in this ball game throughout the rest of the day. Happy 4th of July as it's the Kettleers and the Commodores here in Falmouth. Inside the broadcast with you today, Matt Venezia alongside Zach Serdenik and Destiny Sanchez will join us in just a little bit. Happy 4th of July, Zach. We're excited. There's a good amount of offense in both of these sides as of late, and Kalai Harrison was a guy that we got to keep an eye on in this ball game.
Yeah, he's really been setting the pace for the Kettleers, leading the team in average at the top of the order and just continuing to get it going. And just trying to keep himself going. Had a good year at NC State and really made an outstanding play in the field that left his mark in the first meeting between these two.
Drove in a run and a hit in 5 tries, did Kalai Harrison. He'll be at shortstop today for the Kettleers. On the other side for the Commodores, a guy who made a great play himself out in left the last time the Commodores were on the field against Bourne, Nate Humphreys.
Yeah, and you see before that, the game against Wareham, he hit the home run. That you can see there, that 2-run blast that really helped to keep the momentum on the side of the Doors after their 2-run outburst in the top of the first. Wareham got 2 back, and then Nate Humphreys gave the Doors a lead that they wouldn't give up the rest of the way.
Falmouth fell behind 5-1 before tying that ball game up in the bottom of the 5th inning. And then, as we saw in the 9th inning, Bourne ended up getting the lead. And nonetheless, it was just a great outing. So now we focus on a matchup historically between these two sides in July 4th. Everything that has just been such a great write-up between these two divisional opponents. And with more on that, we send it to Destiny Sanchez down at the field.
Thanks, guys. Today is the 4th of July here at Gov Fuller Field, where the Falmouth Commodores and the Cotuit Kettlers will face off for the second time this season. These two teams always go against each other on the 4th of July, and over the past 10 years, they have split the games 5-5, where Falmouth won last year. Today, Falmouth Commodores have home field advantage here at Gov Fuller Field, and it's the second time this season they will face off. It's a great tradition for the 4th of July here in Falmouth. Back to you guys.
Hoping that the Commodores provide the offensive fireworks in this one, and that's if we get to play. As you can see there, does not look the most appealing with Mother Nature right about now here at Gov Fuller Field, but the tarp is coming off. Obviously, you can see players are out on the field. The umpires are around the home plate area as well. So we'll kind of just stay posted and see. Hopefully, we start baseball at 4:30.
Yeah, I think we're going to get to start unless something changes really quickly. But where we go from there is going to be tough and see where things are at. We've already had one game this season for Falmouth that had to be canceled early through 5 innings, and that was a 1-run loss for the Doors. We talked about it a few different times in that game and in another one. Getting a lead early is really big on a night like tonight.
It's something that the Commodores have not done entirely all that well, although this win streak has been sort of enticing in that fact. You look back at the Wareham game, Falmouth scoring 2 runs in the top of the first inning. Then they allowed the Gatemen to tie it in the following half inning. And yesterday, or 2 days ago rather, against Bourne, it was the Braves that scored first in that game. So it's been a trend that the opposition has tended to score first.
And scoring first has been a big indicator for these games so far. Falmouth 5-2 when scoring first, 2-9-2 when their opponent strikes first blood.
Nonetheless, the Commodores winners of 4 of their last 5. Been a nice stretch to get this team back in the conversation in the West Division. As you look at it now, Falmouth sitting 7-11-2 down there in the bottom spot. Looking all the way up to the Kettleers in the visiting dugout today, who stand firmly with the best record in the Cape League.
Yeah, and Cotuit's been playing good baseball, but so have the Doors as of late. Should be a really good matchup between these two sides, and I'm excited to see what we get, both from Falmouth and from Cotuit.
It is not a Friday, and the Commodores are the home team. However, still wearing those Red Shirt Friday jerseys because of the 4th of July and wanting to wear some colors here at home. And as you can see there, the Kettleers, that is the bullpen area, making its way down to the dugout area. Typically, you don't really see the bullpen tend to come down this way as we get ready for a ball game. So we'll have to see what this maybe home plate discussion could be about in terms of if the sides feel comfortable wanting to get this game started or maybe just stand by.
Yeah, I think they're going to get it going, but we will see. They've got Finn McElroy still warming out there for Cotuit and getting himself ready to get started in this first inning. And for the Doors, just trying to get their bats back to where they were before that off day yesterday.
We talked about Nate Humphreys. He'll be in the 9th spot for Falmouth today. Had an exciting bat at Spillane Field a couple of nights back in that 11-5 win for Falmouth. But nonetheless, to go from off day to off day, the first one, Falmouth dropping 5 in a row. Then you suddenly are 4-1 in that stretch. It's a beautiful way the game works. But with all that said, we're going to send it down to the field level for the Star-Spangled Banner here on this 4th of July celebration and a throwing of the first pitch. And then hopefully we'll have some baseball for you on the other side with weather having a lot to do with that. So with that, we'll send it down to the field.
1995 and 1997. He and his wife Cindy of 42 years live in Megansett in North Falmouth. Together they have 4 children and 5 grandchildren: Lucy, Nolan, Harry, Theo, and Sebastian.
And you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Be thrown today by Sophia LaRocca. Attention, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to Sophia LaRocca. Sophia is a Falmouth High School alum and currently attends Holyoke College, where she is majoring in computer science. She is also an active member of the Cotuit Congregational Church. As a Falmouth High School graduate, Sophia brings her hometown pride and her love for the game to this special moment. Let's give Sophia LaRocca a big round of applause as she takes the field to throw the first pitch. Saying those words we love to hear. Take it away, Sophia.
Play ball!
Nice presentation there of the Star-Spangled Banner. And it looks like baseball, for now, will try to get underway. And here's how the visiting Kettleers will line up. We talked about Kalai Harrison a little bit at the top. But again, this is an order That is one of the very, very best groups here in the Cape League.
Yeah, and you look at that 6, 7, 8, Ryan Galaney, Emilian Petra, and Cannon Peebles. That's one of the best 6, 7, 8 spots you're going to get anywhere on the Cape. Those guys can all bring in runs. Galaney went deep against the Doors the last time these two teams met, and they can all swing it.
Ryan Waldschmidt hit a home run as well, as did Loma Vida. They're not in the lineup today. But A.J. Causey will take the mound. There are his numbers so far here with the Commodores. So far, so good, and I feel like every start he's improved drastically.
See the numbers at the bottom of the screen as well. With that last outing against Orleans, 4 innings, 1 run, just 2 hits. And that was a game that the Doors won that started off that win streak, and that's what you really like to see.
Causey with that sidearm release. Here's how everyone else will be doing it out in the field for Falmouth. The outfield looking pretty generic with Bazana, Spikerman, and Humphreys. The big glove he made in left is now going to be in right. He's traditionally been over there this season. The rest of the infield looks pretty similar with Walker Yannick behind the plate, catching the balls and strikes. And that is a group for Falmouth, again, rocking those Friday home jerseys, but here on the 4th of July, an act that many of the Cape teams at home are doing Cape League-wide today. This is the first game on the slate across teams here in the Cape League on this July 4th holiday. It's good to see Gavin Keelan back in there as well, like the sleeve too, the
I was just gonna
American
mention
flag.
That's a really cool look and a nice shot of it as he was coming across there. Everybody's sporting the flag merch and flag flying high here at Gov Fuller Field.
The rest of the action in the Cape League for many other teams begins in about half an hour, but a 4:30 start here, and the reason for the 4:30 start is because of fireworks that usually happen annually after the games. Well, because of expected fog, those fireworks got canceled, but now, as this pitch is underway to begin the ball game, you see that there could be some other reasons as to why the fireworks may not be happening with the weather.
You can't locate a sinker to start any at-bat to a left-hand hitter better than Causey just did right there.
Runs this one inside on him, and he gets the call as well. A couple of fastballs, and it's quickly 0-2 to Harrison.
Harrison stepping up towards the top of the order after Brett Bateman, who was a leadoff hitter for Cotuit, left to get ready for the draft. Bateman hit .500 this summer.
The 0-2 got him to chase that one and come up empty. 3 pitches for A.J. Causey, and he picks up his first strikeout.
Really good sequence. Starts him with that sinker in that spot, and then this time goes to the changeup that kind of starts there and fades out and away, and Harrison went fishing.
So now that steps in Brock Wills out of UNC Wilmington. A lot of lefties in this order today. Taking on the right-hander, as this is another called strike there to begin the at-bat. Good command so far by Causey, just delivering his pitches where he wants them.
He looks comfortable right now, and he's getting that call on the outside edge, which he was not at Orleans, and that can make such a big difference for a sinker baller throwing from that right side. If you can get that pitch to left-hand hitters, you're going to be a lot tougher to hit.
Look at that slider come right back in. Great pitch coming in at 74. And Causey in consecutive counts ahead of it now with a 2-strike opportunity here. Got him missing on that one. Runs it up with the fastball cutting away at 90. And Causey 2 up, 2 down on strikeouts here for the Doors defensively.
Can't start much better than that. 7 pitches, 2 punch-outs. You'll take it any day of the week.
Real good start here by the Commodores right-hander there. But now Jacob Tobias out of Arizona State. First baseman over there for the Sun Devils in Tempe. Didn't see him in the last matchup these two had. First pitch swinging. Martin will have a play on it. And the Kettleers go rather quietly in the first. Very different outcome than what we saw last time these teams squared off. A 0 put up for the Commodores defensively. And we'll be right back with the Bats of Falmouth on the other side of the break here on the Commodores Baseball Network. Commodores have a task going up against Finn McElroy. We'll hear from him in just a second, but here are how the doors are lining up on this 4th of July day.
Looking top to bottom in this order, you've got bats that can do damage. Spikerman, Bazana at the top. Nice to see DeBarge back in there as well in the 3-hole. And then towards the bottom, Gavin Keelan's been red hot. He's hitting over 300 to pace the doors. And then Nathan Humphreys, as we've already talked about, in that 9 spot.
Keelan had an RBI, but no hits in the last effort against Bourne. Slightly cooling him off just a little bit, given what he's done during this win streak of Falmouth that came to an end the other day. Here is Finn McElroy. Very limited amount of time here so far in the Cape season, but he is getting the nod today for the Kettleers.
Just the one appearance so far, but getting the start today, and that appearance was a mixed bag. He didn't give up a hit, but 3 walks, as well as 2 punch-outs. He gave up 1 run in that game, in that 1 inning, and the Doors trying to get on him early here, not just because of the weather, but also just in general to feel good about yourself.
The Kettleers lining it up that way. Galaney, the big home run bat at the hot corner. Kalai Harrison still at shortstop, and Tobias now in at first base compared to the last time these two faced off. With Cannon Peebles behind the plate for the very best team in the Cape League. This is 2 consecutive games for Falmouth against these Kettleers. That's a tradition that the teams normally have of a July 4th and 5th matchup. Tomorrow we will be at Lowell Park to bring that one for you.
The only home and home of the summer.
In consecutive days at least, and it's a cool tradition that they do that nonetheless. That, you know, when you play these divisional teams a total of 6 times, it's nice to have that back-to-back. So these teams will get accustomed with each other rather quickly and for the next at least few days. And should this game get moved or whatnot, there is an off day on Thursday, so you would possibly look into the opportunity of making up that game as soon as Thursday. But hoping that doesn't happen as we're ready for the Commodore offense in this ball game. First pitch to John Spikerman, misses off the plate. Good take there by Spikerman. Had himself a double in the win, or in the game rather, against Bourne the other night. At the top of the order, he's contributed. Had some good at-bats, but maybe not the numbers of late that we're typically used to seeing from him.
He has, and he's going to go on a hot streak at some point this summer. You're just waiting for it.
He definitely has made himself known out in the outfield. He gets this one on the 2-0. It's lined right at Wills, and he'll make the play. John got his pitch, took it to the opposite field, but right at a Kettleer, one away.
We saw that a lot the last time these two teams met from the Doors. Hard hit balls, but it always seemed to find the bottom of a glove.
Travis Bazana will now be in the 2 spot. He's been there pretty regularly. It's a good matchup for the Commodores to have all these left-handed bats in against a righty in McElroy. First one, misses a little bit low.
McElroy's got 4 different pitches that he'll use, but mainly sticks to 3 of them. He's got a 4-seam fastball, a curveball, and a changeup. He'll throw those a lot. Does an occasional 2-seam in there as well, but mainly you're going to see the 4-seam, the curveball, and the changeup.
That looked to be the changeup as well there. Missing a little bit low. Consecutive counts, falling behind 2-0. Let's see if he gives Bazana something to hit here. With Bazana heating up just a little bit now. 8 for 35 here in the Cape season. That one missing as well behind the plate. Not getting the call. It's 3-0.
Just a touch outside. Not by much, but slightly out.
Could be a potential take situation here, and that one misses a little bit low as well. It's a 4-pitch walk to Bazana, and the first base runner for either side reaches with 1 away here in the first. You mentioned Zach DeBarge now being in there, had the off day last time out against Bourne. Then the team off day, obviously, yesterday, league-wide. So now he's very well rested, and he had been hitting the ball rather well during the little bit of stretch of time that the Commodores started to heat up.
Yeah, he's been swinging the bat well overall for the majority of his time here. The average still under 300 for him, but He's done a nice job. Also, really nice pick at first base there by Tobias. That one's thrown straight into the ground.
He's got a good glove over there. Was used to seeing that throughout the regular season for the Sun Devils at Phoenix Municipal Stadium, having to contest with Bazana there at first base. McElroy out of the stretch. Has had a tough time painting the black. Doesn't matter which batter's in there, left or right-handed. 3 consecutive first pitch balls coming from the right hand of McElroy. A .264 hitter on the year right now is Kyle DeBarge. Another one. This one gets by Tobias. Bazana easily into second. And that will be an error there on the mound by McElroy, setting up an opportunity with a runner in scoring position for DeBarge.
That's the thing with the way that Bazana gets off the bag. He starts right by it, then he hops off and tries to time up his hops to get himself going. Pitchers will try to time up a pickoff move with that hop to get him going back, but he's not that far off the bag, and so he's able to get back in standing up more often than not, and then you can get a throwaway just like happened there.
Bazana dancing over there at the bag at second. Big cut here by DeBarge. Came up empty there on the breaking ball. Eight RBIs on the season for Mr. Kyle DeBarge. Has an opportunity out there for one more. Lining this one to the opposite field. That will get down. Bazana with all that speed. The throw is coming in home. It'll be close. A little bit up the line, and now DeBarge will take for second. He's in there with a base hit RBI, and then he advances on the throw. Beautiful job by the Commodores on the bases, and Falmouth has the first run of the ball game.
Get yourself going, and that's exactly the way you want to do it. Early offense has led to success for Falmouth all season long. They're finding it again here tonight.
Just as you mentioned, it's like a coin flip with this team. If they can find a way to score first, the numbers show for themselves, just like they do if they don't score first. The Commodores on the right side of that statistic here with a 1-0 lead with only one out here in this first inning. That'll bring the big bat Tyler McGregor. Have seen him really come alive for this Falmouth team, especially during this win streak, obviously, but 3 for 5 in the Bourne loss. Had an RBI double in the ninth that had him be the tying run out there at second, but the Commodores were not able to bring him on in. Watches this one run inside. It's 2-0.
Just continuing to swing that bat well, and when you can find barrels, you're going to get hits more often than you're not.
The clouds still now scattering pretty much all over the sky. It was just in one general area, moving left to right from our vantage point. Big cut and miss here for the first strike of the at-bat. McGregor had been in the 3-hole early on here in his first couple of games, making his debut on the road at Orleans, but now moving down into the cleanup role for opportunities like right now. A couple of looks and the offering. Drop the bender in there on the outside. 2-2.
I want to see him try to take one back up the box on this 2-2 pitch.
Could have bought himself an opportunity for one in the zone here, with that one finding the zone. 2-2. Chopping this one along the first base line. That's in play. And Tobias will go the easy way with his pitcher helping in McElroy. Rule that one a 3-1 fielder's choice, and that moves DeBarge to third.
Chance for Martin to come through with a base hit. He leads his team in RBIs at the moment and trying to add on to it right here.
Christian Martin certainly having his offensive bat step up here a little bit during this run. Was a part of that 7-8-9 of Falmouth in the Chatham game that went 9 of 15. But he is the team leader in RBIs to this point. Big bender here. Misses up and away. $11 runs driven in for the team's leader in that category. Needs something through on the ground. At least this one gets away. And DeBarge didn't quite know that that one came out of the glove of Peebles. He thought he still had it in his mitt.
Or at the very least thought it was going to stop when it popped out, and stop not that far, because trying to score from third base is all about instinct as a base runner, and you have to get a good jump, because if you're not, then you're taking the bat out of the hands of your hitter at the plate and running into an out. And so, smart decision there. It would have worked out for him to go even with a late, but overall I like that decision from DeBarge to not try to push it too much, especially early in this game.
That one's in there for a strike, making it 2-1. But that was, for now, for the first 5 batters to this point have seen a 2-0 count from McElroy right now, having to work pretty regularly from behind. Gave Martin a strike there, though. That one nearly got him. This one goes to the backstop, and DeBarge with a slide doing it himself. He does get there in time.
We talked about jumps and got a better jump on that one. It bounced right back off the padding, set him up in a dangerous spot, but got the better jump, came in to score.
We were wondering, now with the padding down there, how lively the redirections would be on wild pitches. But that one was like a trampoline. It came right back into the dirt area at home.
It was a fastball that went right to it and just didn't lose as much velocity off of the barrier.
Martin goes up the ladder here. This could maybe get down in no man's land. Wills calls everyone off, though, and does make it himself. But not before the Commodores put up 2 in the home half of the first inning. And that does it for this frame. The Commodores to this point in the year have been pretty well out of the bullpen, and I actually got to meet one of the arms myself in Casey Hunt. Got to throw the ball around on the field the other day and had a great conversation really for Casey, who's getting ready for the MLB draft. Check that video out. Got the QR code on there too to be able to pull that one up. But Casey now no longer here, did his time here with the Commodores and is now preparing for the draft. But just such a great all-around person.
Yeah, just really nice guy to get to talk with, and good luck to him going forward.
Casey Hunt, last year a 12th round pick out of the Pirates, decided to go back to school at Mississippi State. Here on the Cape, had himself a really, really good summer for Falmouth. Going 4 for 4 in save opportunities, a sub 1.5 ERA. Really was the most consistent and reliable arm for Mike Landry and the pitching staff of Falmouth. But definitely check on that video out. Had a lot of fun the other day. And a lot of great people here within the Commodores broadcasting interns helping me put that one together. But from one arm to another, A.J. Causey settling himself in here pretty regularly. Made his first start against Bourne. We saw him not too long ago. And now he's here. Had some help from Steve Cishek, too. He's heard a little bit from him. We had Steve on here the other day for the broadcast, having 2 similar arm slots. It's unique, but if it works, more power to you.
It does, and it creates something different than a hitter sees every day. And when you can be different, that's good.
So we're ready for the top of the second inning. The Clouds continue to move on towards the water, really, from where we're sitting here, which is good news in terms of wanting to get this baseball game going. But we're now in the second. One's in there to a strike. Cole Mathis cleaning it up here after the visitors here went 1-2-3 in the first. Thought about that decision. Mike Hinojosa behind the plate says it's a ball. Mickey Garcia's along the first baseline. And Arturo Belmonte down at the hot corner. The umpires here on this 4th of July game. Nice slider coming up empty, and it's 1-2.
It's a really good pitch from Causey. Gets himself ahead in the count again, and that's where he's been living so far, and it's exactly where you want him to be.
Swing and a miss. Looked to be the 2-seam fastball there away from the righty. And A.J. Causey dialed in right now. 3 strikeouts to the first 4 men he sees.
He had 5 strikeouts in his first 2 starts combined, and now has 3 already through the first 4 hitters of this game against by average, the second best team on the Cape in the offensive department.
Yeah, you could say that again. The numbers don't lie as this one's chopped up the middle. Martin, long throw on the hop. Just barely in time, says Mickey Garcia emphatically. 2 gone.
That was tight. That took a tough hop, and Matheson was pushing it out of the left-handed batter's box, but nice job to get him.
This team in Cotuit, first in the Cape League in slugging, second in home runs, and they'll hit for average as well, second in that department at 256, against a Falmouth pitching staff that surrenders the most hits of any pitching staff here in the Cape League. I mean, this is probably one of the more stout opportunities this team has, and look, we saw it last time at Lowell Park firsthand.
Yeah, they got going as the middle of that ball game went on, and Kettleers lit up some of the Doors pitchers, but it's a different group now as things kind of evolve. A.J. Causey out here for his third start, more and more new pitchers entering this rotation and just trying to make their mark.
He's got a good feel for that two-seam fastball right now on the outside part of the zone to right-handers. It's tough to pick up, and again, I mean, it's coming in at 90 right now, and Cishek said it best himself from a guy who does it. He doesn't have to come in all that hot from this arm slot. It's just tough to pick up. Jammed him on one here. And Galaney stays alive.
And he's been able to use the fastball on the outside part of the plate with success, but where he is going to live, not just tonight, but in his future, I think is going to be running that fastball back in on the hands of right-hand hitters. That's what Cishek did so well. That's what Causey does so well as well.
Big breaking ball, fouled off of Walker Yannick. And my goodness, for anyone who just keeps taking a beating, it's Yannick right now behind the plate.
That is not good.
No other catchers right now on the active roster for Falmouth.
Kyle DeBarge does have a background in catching, though, but that's not where you want to be, is bringing in somebody that doesn't normally play catcher that has a background in it.
Willie, our bullpen catcher, even myself, probably might get added to the point streak roster within the next couple of days or so.
It's been a while since you've caught.
Well, I guess the other day with KC, but he was not throwing hard. You'll be able to see that in the video.
Get back to your middle school catching days.
High school.
High school and middle school.
Wasn't that bad.
Okay.
Yeah, early high school.
That's
when
fair.
We hung up the cleats early high school.
Yeah. So it's been a few years was the point.
I've caught low 90s before. I have an experience with it. I could survive.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
I think I could survive some of these arms maybe. The 2-2 on the outside, getting the call. A.J. Causey, 4 punch-outs to the first 6 men he sees. And another 0 put up on the Kettleers side of the line score. More offense for Falmouth on the way. We'll be right back. But before this, we'll hear from a word from Destiny Sanchez down at field level. Destiny, take it away.
Cape Cod isn't just any community, it's our community. At Cape Cod Healthcare, providing exceptional, high-quality care for our neighbors and visitors is at the core of everything we do. From wellness initiatives and preventative screenings, edge technology, and specialized clinical expertise, our dedicated team is committed to delivering care that enhances the well-being of all in this special region. Cape Cod Healthcare congratulates the Cape Cod Baseball League on its 100th year anniversary and is proud to be this year's official healthcare sponsor. Learn more at capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, caring commitment community. You're watching Falmouth Commodores Baseball.
The Commodores in that first inning where 2 runs came across, sent 5 to the plate. This is the 6th man in the order, Walker Yannick, leading it off for the Commodores.
Matt, we talked earlier about the 6-7-8 for Cotuit, but the 6-7-8 for the Doors ain't too shabby either with Yannick, Snell, and Keelan. It's going to be tough for McElroy to navigate.
Still waiting to see this Bearcat really break out. We saw him a couple days ago up as high as the 3-hole for the Commodores, down in the 6th spot today. Hit over 400 with the Bearcats. So we know it's in there.
Yeah, I was wondering who was going to take that 3-hole spot when DeMarche had the day off, because it's kind of been, it was Charlie Condon for the first 11 games, and then it was pretty much DeBarge's spot up until his day off yesterday, and Yannick slid up there in front of McGregor.
And Kyle DeBarge has certainly earned that opportunity to stay up there when he's in the lineup. Going to the opposite field, that one going out towards the stands and right and foul. Yannick a little late on that one. But again, when talking about the matchup last time, very different team in Falmouth, and I guess for Cotuit too, respectfully, both sides, but 18 hits by the Kettleers. It was automatic, almost looked like batting practice at times, especially in that 4th inning where the Kettleers plated 6.
Just found barrel after barrel after barrel, and that's a nightmare as a pitcher, but also just as a player on the opposing team for that. It felt like everything the Doors were throwing at them, no matter whether they were trying to mix it up or what they were doing, Cotuit was on it.
That was a start from Logan Van Treek, his first on the year.
His first few innings were really good.
They were, and from the 2nd to the 4th inning, he was only getting beat by a solo shot. I mean, it really wasn't that bad, but after that 3rd consecutive one in the 4th, 5 more Kettleers came across, and that made it tough. Yannick skies this one out to left. Tracking it, Wills, he'll make the play. And that is the first out of the inning for Falmouth.
Had he hit that same ball about 20 minutes ago, it might have been trouble because the wind was blowing straight out to left, but it's been swirling all day, and now it's blowing straight in from left field, and that's never going to go in that spot, not off the end of the bat.
Cade Snell, the designated hitter, was up in the 9th against Bourne, representing the winning run. Was not able to come through in that spot for Falmouth. Had a hit in 4 official tries for Snell. He DH'd in that game. He lines out first pitch here to Kalai Harrison, 2 away.
It's a good swing, though. Taking that pitch the other way, trying to send it into that left center field gap. He's done that a lot this season, but this time right at Harrison.
So now Gavin Keelan, who, as we continue to talk about, has stayed remotely in this 8-hole spot during his hot streak for Falmouth. But up to 328 on the year entering action today.
There was a few games there where it just kind of felt like every time Gavin Keelan came up to the plate, he was going to get a hit. And he did that for quite a bit of that time.
His most notable effort had a couple of 3-hit games, but 3 doubles against Chatham in that 13-4 win here at the Gov. Really, really stood out. But he's ahead of it now, 2-0, with McElroy settling down just a little bit here with the first 2 men he sees in this inning going down rather quickly on a total of 5 pitches to this point. This is pitch number 8 of the inning for him, and it's another line drive. Kalai Harrison getting a workout over there at shortstop. And the Commodores go kind of quickly here in the 2nd.
Hey, Commodore fans! The Falmouth Commodores are celebrating 100 years in the Cape Cod Baseball League, and you're invited to the party. Join us at Gov Fuller Field on July 15th for a free afternoon of live music, local food trucks, games, and player autographs. The fun starts at 3 p.m. and goes until 5:30. Join me and Homer in Falmouth on July 15th for an afternoon of fun, games, music, and Cape Cod baseball, all for free.
Well, we've been giving you as much of an update as we can with the clouds, and right around first pitch they were looking a little bit more scary, but that's the weather here in Falmouth, here in the southwest part of the Cape.
And you can see the wind on that flag as well. just gusting all around. And you never know where things are going to be when you're this close to the water. Weather can change in an instant.
Nonetheless, good number of supporters here rocking the red, white, and blue. Happy birthday, USA, today.
And happy birthday, Homer.
Happy birthday, Homer, as well, the mascot of the Falmouth Commodores.
May see him a little bit later with that as well. But can't give one birthday shout-out without another.
That is true. July 4th being a great day for the ability of all of us Americans to live our everyday freedoms here because of the men and women so bravely overseas. We say thank you so much to all those who served as we get ready for this third inning of play. The Commodores, team in the basement here in the West, on top of the big dogs in the Kettleers here early on in Falmouth, 2-0. This is Emelian Pitre. Hacking at that one, he sends it straight back and foul.
Pitre was the lone man the last time these two teams met in the Kettleers order that did not get a hit. But he hit some balls really hard, including had a ball that would have been a home run at Lowell Park that was brought back by Tab Tracy back in the 9th inning of that game.
His bat shatters here, but gets the ball into left. And that is an expensive base hit for Pitre, who leads off the inning with a Kettleer base knock.
AJ Causey's going to break a lot of bats in his career once he gets to the guys playing with wood a lot. And he does one there, but unfortunately for him, finds the outfield grass for a single. This Cotuit team runs more than any other team on the Cape. They are third in actual stolen bases because they've been caught 16 times, but they run 36 for 52 on the base paths.
Looked like a foul tip there behind the plate. Cannon Peebles now out of NC State. Today's backstop from McElroy behind the plate. Goes after this one, and he's behind 0-2. Good recovery here by Causey to get ahead early in this at-bat.
It's exactly what you want to do, and that's what he did in the first 2 innings. Just live ahead in the count. You're in control in that spot as a pitcher. You don't want to let the batter dictate what's going on.
This one's chopped slowly to Martin. He doesn't have a play at second. He'll go the quick way to first. So that fielder's choice now presents the first runner in scoring position here for the Kettleers.
That took a really weird hop on Martin as well. I think if it didn't, he might have thought about going to second, but it's a smart choice, especially up by 2 runs early in a game like this. You don't want to risk compounding mistakes and try and flip things, jump across your body to throw to second base. Instead, just take the easy out. Nothing hurt.
Banks went 1 for 5 in the win against Falmouth in the first game of the season between these two teams. But now all the way down in the 9th spot. And I think the umpires are going to come in here and discuss a little bit. As
they're bringing out the radar here.
We think Mother Nature has made her presence known here at the Gov. For what it's worth, you know, playing a full game counts as 5 innings. If you get through 5 innings, then if the game has to be delayed or canceled, it counts as a full game. The Commodores were sadly on the wrong end of that.
And they're going to send him off the field.
And that will pause us for now. But the umpire's looking out for everyone's safety here. And this 4th of July baseball game will be temporarily on pause, with Falmouth on top 2-0 though, with Cotuit trying to answer back here in the top of the 3rd.
Are you looking for that perfect pregame meal? Supreme Pizza has you covered. Its extensive menu has everything from pies and calzones to salads and subs. And with its online ordering system, delicious food is just one click away. Supreme Pizza is open every day of the week. Order online or stop by their store located at 147 T-Ticket Highway and try a slice today.
From all of us at Supreme Pizza, we would like to wish the Falmouth Commodores a great season.
Hello, everyone. Back here at Gov Fuller Field. This ball game has been postponed with all the rain here, as you can see on the screen. So for now, we're waiting to see when the ball game will be picked up. Most of us are thinking that'll be Thursday, with more details to come. So stay tuned to the Commodore social media handles. And the most likely outcome is that the game would resume in the top of the third with a runner on second and a strike with an out, with the Commodores still on top 2-0. But thanks for bearing with us through this weather delay. For everyone here at the Gov, for our reporters up here in the broadcast booth, Zach Zerdanik, Matt Venezia saying so long for now, and we will see you tomorrow on the road at Lowell Park when the Commodores take on these Kettleers. Have a great night, everyone.